Hey, sixth grade. This is the math lesson for Wednesday, April the 1st. The odds of lesson 137 and 138 are due today, or on Wednesday, April 1st, lessons 137, 138. The odds, we'll go over a couple of those. Sorry. Make sure that you know what you're doing on there, and then we will talk a little bit about lesson 139, which will be due on Thursday. Let's just look at a couple on lesson 137. So have your papers out. Unit price. Again, unit price is talking about when you go to the store and you buy 6 gallons of milk for $10, right? So then you go $10 divided by how many you got. $10 divided by 6 gives you your unit price, or price per gallon. So it's simply price divided by however many units of whatever it was that you got. So number one, your equation would have been 855 divided by 3. And your answer is $2.85. If you have per gallon, that's fine, but you don't have to have per gallon. But that's what it's talking about, $2.85 per gallon of milk. But just $2.85 is fine. How about number 5? Make sure you understand circle graphs. What kind of book represents about 25% of the books of the New Testament? About 25% would be about your general epistles. General epistles is about 25%. Number 7, the interest problem. Let's just make sure we're getting this interest. Jesse borrowed $20,000 for 11 years at 9% interest. That would be 20,000 times 11 times 0.09, giving you a grand total of $19,800. $19,800. All right. Look at 138. 138, the answer for number 1 is 70. The answer to number 3 is 50%. We should have looked at that story problem, because the wording of the story problems make it a little more complicated to figure out the exact order of things. So we'll check one of those out once. So, yeah, what I'm saying is the reading problem, the order of things isn't as plain, and so to figure out your proportion is a little more difficult. But yeah, number 3 there. Let's just look at this. In a class of 24 students, 12 are girls. What percent of the class are girls? All right, in a class of 24 students, 12 are girls. What percent of the class is girls? So you have 2 numbers, 12 and 24, and you have a missing percent. So the percent would be over 100. So you have the wording of this one would actually be 12 is what percent of 24? 12 is what percent of 24? So you should have had it written like this. 12 over 24 equals over 100. All right? And then your answer would be a percent. Your answer is 50%. All right? Listen to this one and think about the proportion that it would be. In a congregation of 250 people, so your total is 250. 75 are men. What percent of the congregation are men? In a congregation of 250, 75 are men. Part of them is 75 equals what percent? And again, it's the same sign here. 75 is what percent of 250? And I think the answer for that is 30. All right? How about, where's the one I wanted to do? Here. What is 40% of 125? So let's work this one out. What is 40% of 125? And again, we're working with parts, total. We're working with two numbers and 2%, right? So we have, so what are the numbers and what are the percents and where is the missing number? All right? We always said, what is the missing number? Okay, you can make that a W. That's the missing number. What? What is 40% of 125? Right? What is 40% of 125? So it will be 100. W equals 125 times 40. What is 125 times 40? Let's just solve that over here, get rid of this. 125 times 40. 0, 0, 2, 8, 9, 10, or 5. Is that right? 4, 5. 0, 0, 2, 8, 9, 10. 5,000. So this is 5,000. All right. So now we simply divide by 100. Divide by 100, which knocks 2 zeros off. W equals 50. So 50 is your answer. 50 is 40% of 125. 50 is 40% of 125. All right. Lesson 139. Metric unit of measurement. Now again, remember, every time you use the metric system, you have those same prefixes. The largest one is kilo, kilo, hecto, deca, and then your center measurement with metric unit of length, it is a meter. Okay, this is a meter. So your middle one would be meter. So you would have km, hm, dkm, m, dm, cm, and mm, millimeter. All right? So on here, you have a meter. This is 1 meter. Your tens, counting by tens, 10, 20, 30, that would be your decimeters. And then every number, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, that's your centimeters. And every single one of your tiny marks is an mm, a millimeter. Okay? One of the exercises that you're doing with this millimeters and centimeters in number 1 and 2 of lesson 139, you're supposed to measure a line and then say how many millimeters and how many centimeters it is. Okay, there are 10 millimeters in 1 centimeter. The numbers on here are centimeters. Every little one is a millimeter. So if you have 1 centimeter, you have 10 millimeters. Suppose we have 16 millimeters, which would be about right here. 16 millimeters would be how many centimeters? That's what they want here. So in numbers 1 and 2, you need 2 different answers. So if you would have, if it would be 16 millimeters, then that is 1.6 centimeters. Okay? So however many millimeters, your biggest number is going to be millimeters because there's more millimeters in a centimeter. So if you have 16 or if you have 35 millimeters would be 3.5 centimeters. So keep that straight. Okay, so you're going to measure those lines in number 1 and 2, and you're going to give 2 answers, 1 in millimeters and 1 in centimeters. So see what you do there. Again, how many hectometers in a decameter or how many decameters in a kilometer? You're simply moving the decimal. Okay? So if you're going from how many meters in a hectometer, you would move the decimal place 2 parts to the left. All right, so you're just moving decimal just like you did with the grams. Everything is the same there. So see what you can do in lesson 139. Follow instructions carefully. There will be a test on Friday, a math test. So on Thursday, we will review for the test. This assignment is due on Thursday, lesson 139. Thank you very much.